Hey guys, welcome to Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars. Guys, we're doing something new, so welcome. I am doing a little. I'm doing a little different. I have it playing so I can see. So I can see if I'm actually doing it. Anyway, welcome back. Let's get into the topic. We have a really great topic today that I'm looking forward to discuss. Where's my notes? So basically, staying in a higher vibration. Now, this is something that I've been doing a lot of studies, as you know. If you follow me on my podcast, it goes live every single Thursday. I am always discussing new outlooks coming from my particular perspective, and I am happy to say that I have helped a lot of people as well. So thank you so much for that. I really want to engage more on this platform. So I definitely will be going live more often than not, as well as uploading. My podcast usually goes automatically will appear on this platform. I do have a vlog channel. It's Elizabeth Magical Garden. Again, all the links are down below. So let's get into it. Creating on a higher frequency. How are we able to create on such a level that we can actually see the changes in our lives? Now, one of the things that I realized over the course of time and through study and through extensive research is that one thing that is definitely in common is how you feel. It all stems from within. It all stems from how you truly feel within yourself, that will allow you to be capable of creating anything. And you can only be able to create on a level. And when I say create, let me explain that. When I say create, I'm talking about creating and bringing forth the vision that you see for your life. Why are we over here? Like, I'm trying to see from this way. Oh, okay. We're still new at this. But yeah, creating on a level that will allow you the capabilities to perform and bring forth what you already can envision in your life. I find that a lot of people that follow me are artists in one retrospect or another. So you in particularly know what I'm talking about. You're always in the energy and the frequency of being able to bring forth what you see in your mind and bringing out, whether you are a hairdresser, a makeup artist, a business person, man, woman, anything that you through a vision created, a parent, and brought forth to life. This will definitely, what I'm suggesting and seeing things from this perspective will allow you to see it through over the course of your life. Because what I find that a lot of us tend to be a little closed-minded in terms of how we can incorporate the things that makes us feel good in every area of our lives. Let me give you a little story time. So when I was a young girl, I used to always have, and and rightfully so, kids have such a great, vivid imagination. They're able to full throttle go into whatever they want to create and just come from such a loving, happy space. But as we get older, we get a little more cynical, and these things tend to change. In saying that, I used to always dread doing my chores. Like when I grew up, you had chores, honey. Okay, you had chores. You wanted your allowance. You had to work. You had you had to work for them chores. You had to work for your allowance. And I grew up in that household, and I'm really grateful because it taught me a lot. But in saying that, I had to do my Saturday chores, which was dusting, the furniture, um, the dishes as always, and whatever other tasks that my mother saw fit for me to do on my times, my day to do the chores. And my mother was very militant when it came to um, your work ethics. You know, she came from the space where if you're gonna do something, do it great once, so you don't have to come back and do it again. And that used to get on my nerves. Like, I'm like, listen, I'm doing the chores, but what she was teaching me is number one, saving myself tons of time, right? Because if you aim at doing your best the first time, you know, even if you're new to whatever endeavor you find yourself in, over the course of that, because you have that mind state, you will find yourself being the best at the thing that you achieve, and birthing that into reality. Coming from a higher perspective will allow you to create on a higher level. And some of the things that I'm going to suggest that can kind of like quick start you on your way, if you are already achieving these things with the things that I'm going to suggest, more power. You could always make room for improvement, maybe increase the levels of consistency on some of the things to see even more, to kind of like catapult yourself, catapult you on a higher frequency where you can your imagination your imagination can um, be that more affluent to create on a higher level, which will benefit you and build your currency level, right? Because all of this, let's not kid ourselves, these things are to keep us creating on such a level that we have to receive back what we are putting out, right? So one of the things that I will definitely suggest, and I did suggest this on my vlog channel, I went live on there as well. I made a couple of suggestions. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but one of the things that really stood out for me, which is aromatherapy. I always use lavender oil because with this you can add this to many things, which will trigger your senses, will get you into creative juices, will have you more be susceptible to the channeling you are receiving from your pineal gland, pineal gland. I speak so fast, guys. I'm forever I'm forever working on that. You know, fun fact, sidebar, when I used to read cards on my channel, one of the things that was always kind of hard for me was for me to keep my breath, because I get so excited and I can just literally feel the downloads coming in, and I just want to like, but patience, calm my face, calm down. Anyway, so aromatherapy is definitely one of the things that will keep you on such a level of feeling good. Is a good protection as well, and and feeling empowerment within your own soul. When sometimes we need a little help, sometimes we need a little reminder, a little pick me up, to remind ourselves that things aren't that bad. You have breath, you're alive, um, you're healthy, you're well bodied and able, right, to whatever capacity you find yourself in. This means that you still have a chance to make a difference. You still have a chance to do better. Because if your present circumstances is not where you want it to be, you have the ability to change that. We have the ability to change that. So keeping on that thought process of creating on a higher frequency, you are going to attract things that will keep you on a higher frequency, because anywhere the mind goes, the body follows. So that's dope right there. So that is something that I would suggest to incorporate in your if you're just starting to do some to if you're just starting on your journey in terms of being practicing mindfulness and realizing that your perception on things and how it affects you daily and every day, and being mindful of the things that are going against the things that you want or you see in your mind, in your mind's eye. Mindfulness will veer you away from that, because if it doesn't align, why, once you realize, you're like, you know what, why am I that's like, I'm thirsty, and I know I need water, but I'm still like trying to quench my thirst with like sugary like soda. We do it, but in actuality, if you really want to like get hydrated, stay healthy in your body, water, you take a little sip while I say that. Water is truly the candidate to go to, right? So those that is definitely something. And as we are speaking about water, that is an excellent segue, if I may say so myself. Staying hydrated. There is a lot to be said about using water to keep your frequency levels up, especially when you are creating, being um, being in that fluidity of receiving while you are practicing mindfulness to stay on a higher playing field. Yes, that too. You know, you able yourself to not force things, but be more in flow with things. So incorporating a lot of staying hydrated, practicing staying hydrated is a thing. I know from my own personal experience, I see what drinking way more water than I have been known in the past to do. I see the difference in every aspect of my life. I see it in my body, my skin. I also see it in my finances. I see it because you are in that frequency, building, you know, I will say this: money is energy. Everything is energy. Every single thing is energy. And when you realize that, life changes, because you realize, okay, so if everything is energy, where am I putting my energy, or can where can I put my energy uh, that will enable me to be in that frequency? And the truth of the matter is, whether you're working or not, I personally find that being positive. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to do anything, but just generally being positive, being true to yourself, feeling good in your body attracts a lot of prosperity. It truly does. You know, we can look at life in so many different ways. You can look at life like, okay, I am in a position where I don't want to be, and I'm going to be begrudging in every single time I do something or speak to somebody, or even to myself, right? Because we do speak to ourselves. I know I do. Okay, sit here and just begrudge, and just saying things that's not putting you in your best light. you're sabotaging. You're doing more sabotaging than building and staying on a positive level. Treating yourself and staying in that mindset is not going to allow you to create anything, you know. So I know for me, whenever, even like creating this live, getting into that mindset, creating my atmosphere, allowing me to feel comfortable while I put myself out, right? Always benefiting from the fact, always doing what it takes to keep you in that playing field will allow you to create on such a beautiful level that you have never even experienced. I will say this, like going out, another thing, going out in nature. I have always spoke about that. If you listen to all my prior episodes, I have always spoken about to um, going in nature to heal, going to nature to heal. I remember one time I was like right next to the park. I was just about to head in, and Knuckles, and this lady, these three women, you know, when they give the pamphlets out for like to come to their church and stuff like that. She she was trying to give me one, and I was like, no, I'm okay, because I didn't want to throw it out, you know, and waste it. So I said, no, thank you. And then somebody said something. I said I was heading to the park. I guess one of the ladies heard me saying that I'm going to work, which her response was work, 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 like just like kind of like she wasn't threatening, but just like just going off, and that's not even what I said. So I said to her, she was like, you know, you got to make time for God. And I said, yeah, I'm going to God right now. Period. And she was perplexed. She looked at me, and I wasn't saying it on a disrespectful way, because I don't believe in that personally. But you know, to my elders or whatever the situation is. But I was speaking my truth. I heal. Yes, the nature is my church. You know, when I go there, guys, if you hear any buzzing, I have an electric toothbrush that went rogue, and I can't stop it. It turns on and off as it goes. So you know, that's just the extra seasoning if you hear that in the background, and it stopped. Yeah. So going to church, going in nature, going in nature will allow you to heal in such a level and make room for creativity, allowing you to create on a higher frequency. Because when you are in nature, you are breathing fresh air, number one, right? We all know scientifically air, we need air, and being out in nature definitely, this is definitely is helpful, bringing you into a healthier state um, than you would have received being indoors. I remember um, there was this movie. There was this movie that it was one of those period movies. Um, I don't remember the movie, but I don't know. I don't remember the movie, but I do remember there was a scene where the there was a person that fell ill, and they realized that, you know, fresh air um, was a healing factor. So they would send people to the country. They would send people to the country so they could be in the countryside. And where did all of that stem from? Because the sun, fresh air does something to our to ourselves inwardly and outwardly. Just receiving that energy allows you to heal. So going out in nature, maybe bringing a pen and a pad with you, and sitting down somewhere, perched under a nice tree. Make it a vibe, because guys, that's what I do. Like yesterday, I went. It was extremely hot. It's summertime right now, right in the northern hemisphere on my side of town, and who wants to be cooped up? So a lot of people their go-to was to go and stay out in nature. There was a breeze coming in, and it just felt really good, and you just feel so healthy. And in saying that, I also uh, felt so much more creative. I felt so the ideas was just pouring in out of like nowhere. This is why you would hear people say, go for a long walk. The longer the walk, the creative you get. And it is true. So definitely incorporating some type of exercise, going out in nature, just being with yourself to allow yourself, because a lot of times people find themselves in depression or dealing with anxiety. I have spoke about that plenty on my in my past episodes, so be sure to check that out. One of the key factors to feeling on that energy, and I also did a live explaining this, so be sure to check the vlog as well, because when you are in balance in your frequency levels, that energy still has to go somewhere. Energy doesn't die. It still has to go somewhere. So it can show up as you are overthinking, or being overwhelmed to where you just want to like digress from doing your daily activities because now you feel heavy laden. That's that energy not being uh, made to be in a constructive way. You're not allowing yourself to manipulate where you choose your focus to be. And it's like a garden in a backyard. If you don't cultivate that garden, it's just going to grow weeds and go wild, and just take over. And that is what happens to the conscious mind, where the subconscious mind, things from the past, swoops in like an eagle and take over, and you can see the progressions of certain thoughts, what it has, um, the effect that it has on the human body. With that being said, through mindfulness and practicing um, creating things, just creating on a higher frequency level, allows you to determine, or I should say, project where your focus is, which will alleviate, because there's only but so many hours in a day, right? Which will alleviate you uh, focusing on things that's not going to bring you to your high level. Because listen, this is all we're practicing. Just in case you don't know, one of the reasons why I um, started this particular series in terms of I feel like with all the books, this series has changed with all the knowledge that I have been acquiring, and I'm still acquiring, I'm still learning. I don't feel that you ever have arrived. I don't feel like you ever know everything. What um, it said. It's to know is to know that you don't know. Okay, I don't know if I said it right, but that's what I mean. But with that being said, knowledge is power, and the more you consume, the more your perspective will change. And that is great because we realize that we have the ability to create change. And I don't know about you guys, that just excites me. It makes life much more uh, beautiful, and just knowing that you have the ability, focusing on reminding yourself that you have the ability to change whatever perception that you find that is not conducive to your current perception, because our perceptions are always changing. So this is why the imbalance and the dance of life happens, because as you change, things and everything around you don't just change just like that, right? So you you can find yourself um in on a certain level, and it's, and when I say level, because there is levels to everything, but not level in a way where one person is better than the other, because we're all sentient beings. We all have this ability to create and create beautiful things. But like anything else, practice creates a muscle. Anything that you are constant in will birth something. This is why um, I believe in the divine feminine. I believe that I am an extension of the divine feminine. My mother birthed me, and this goes whether you are a male or a female. Because when we give back to self, right? When we understand um, our power, what we women are women are the female energy alone is a very mystical and complex thing where chaos lives, and love and prosperity and death, everything that has been created. And I'm going to say this, everything that has been created came from feminine energy. And I know that has always been, at least it was a struggle for mine for many years, because of certain doctrines, and you're led to more focus on the male aspect of things. But the thing about it is, one cannot exist without the other. One cannot exist without the other. So once you realize that when you truly realize that, that alone will change your perspective and see life from a different lens. So anytime you find yourself feeling like you are a little dry in certain areas, especially in the creative aspect, go back to leave it alone. I like to like leave whatever medium is giving me that type of energy. Usually if I'm feeling like that, there's something that I'm not doing for myself, which is because I already know I have created I have created things that's always going to be in alignment with each other, but also give me the space to create in different ways, right? So if one is not working, leave it alone and touch something else. This is why allowing yourself to explore is very important. When you allow yourself to explore, you do what? Explore. You realize different avenues in your life that you probably wouldn't have witnessed if you didn't allow yourself the freedom of creating. I remember when the what's that called? When how can I forget? Okay, when the pandemic hit and everybody, was in quarantine, I had the hankering to start practicing playing the guitar. It was just a strong feeling of mine. And now it's funny because that is my favorite instrument. So I one day I just bought a guitar. I actually bought an acoustic guitar first. I actually have two. I have an acoustic and I have an electric. And this is a great example of allowing yourself to create. Now, was that to say that I was going to sit here and know every note? No. But it fed me, again, using our senses. This, I chose to use tactile senses because there are nerve endings in your hands, and those nerve endings are also connected to your brain, and you can feel things. Like, that's how you are able to know if something is hot and cold, or cold, because once you touch it, there is a signal that goes to the brain to let you know, like, oh, it is cold. So when you are playing an instrument and you are feeling the vibration of the instrument, you are focusing on um, positioning your hand in a certain way to get a particular tune, right? Using your ears now, uh, to get a particular tune to play. It's all it's invigorating. It is. It feels good because you're like, oh my god, I'm doing this. And I find that although I don't practice every single day, I wish I started off, I started off and I got to a certain level for me because I knew my intent was while I had the while I when I brought the guitars, I knew what I wanted. I wanted a space where the only sound that I was listening to, really, or I should say the only sound that I was focusing on, was the sound that I was creating, and as I create that sound, it allows me to feel and just allow my imagination to go a little different. And it has nothing to do with the other things I do. It has nothing to do with my writing. It has nothing to do with these episodes, but here and behold, it does, because I'm speaking about it. I'm speaking about my experience. You see that? You see, when you allow yourself to create on a higher frequency, you open up your imagination. You allow yourself to just explore avenues that you explore. Kids be doing that. What is that? Like, I guess that's like a dance, or like, okay, we get it. Ciao. In saying that, you just allow yourself to receive love in a way that you normally wouldn't receive it if you didn't take a chance to do something that you never did before, right? And I just find that to be a really great tool, or I should say, a really great practice to incorporate in keeping up and being in a higher frequency in whatever medium that you choose to do, in any art form that you create, right? So doing these things, let's talk about the benefits. Let's talk about the benefits of doing things and keeping up. Like, why should you even bother? Like, okay, I'm speaking about creating on a higher frequency, but why should you even practice these things? You got things to do. um, there's other important things in your life that's taking precedence, that this may not be your particular cup of tea. Well, I'm going to tell you that these things that I'm suggesting is actually going to build such an amount of resilience in your personal life, in your business life, in anything that you create, in any relationship that you have going forward, because these things that I am suggesting definitely incorporates you spending time with yourself. It incorporates you using other senses that you normally would not take the time to achieve or do, I think. Okay? In saying that, now when you are dealing with life, because life is always lifing, your tenacity to stay calm, your resilience to see things through, uh, is just, that muscle is so much stronger because you are practicing. See, they everything works together. Everything is a balance. I remember it was actually 2016. 2016 when I was sitting with myself. I was meditating and I was just putting intention, imbuing intention into what I envisioned for myself for the present or upcoming year, I should say, and or for the present year. And the word balance came up, guys. Balance. And I will tell you to this day that word is always prevalent in my life because it when I hear balance, I hear it in so many different forms. I see it in so many different forms. And these things that I have mentioned is a great balance because if you are not the type of person to go to, let's say, the spa all the time, or um, just do things that we really should be incorporating, and I definitely will go into that a little bit. Um, with that being said, if you're not the type of person to always stay on that frequency, creating art is an easy way to have like a cheat code in that area because it's not about how you look when you are doing these things. A lot of times, these things that I'm suggesting may have you hot, sweaty, um, even a little messy, and that's what makes it fun, right? Getting down in the ugly. When I every time, and this is why I always say, you know what, I'm going to just stick with it because there is a phase when you are consistent in playing that you have to develop your calluses, and that is not it doesn't always feel good, and it definitely does not look good as well. It is what it is, but you're you're playing those strings, and the abrasion of those strings on a constant level does create a callus, but the callus is what creates help creates the melody, the song, because now the strings are better able to slide off your fingers. You're more able to get a particular grip or hold on the strings. So that just goes into life as well. Practicing makes perfect, but through it's not about being perfect. It's about the practicing, giving self love. Like I was talking about, like also incorporating. I should say I want to mention also incorporating uh, doing your makeup, presenting yourself. And when I say your makeup, I'm not a heavy makeup person. I never have been, but I do love makeup. You don't have to. How can I say? A lot of times, I find that a lot of times, what holds us back from doing things is our perception of the thing, and depending on that perception, you will you will or you won't do the thing. And as we get older, a lot of the times we put in our minds, or we are taught, that this is child's play. Oh, nobody has time for that. I just turned 51. I was about to say 50. Boom. I just turned 51. And yes, I color my hair. Now, I know my hair is gray. I know I'm turning gray, and it's okay. But at the same token, I still like to switch it up. So my little thing of keeping up with myself and making myself feel good, I don't do it because I feel like, oh, the gray is making me old. First of all, I love for those, just like anything else, again, a callus. For those who have completed that process, because it is a process, and who knows, maybe or maybe not, I'll do it one day. But as it stands, I love to color my hair because there is a process that once you get over, it's a big it's a big mismatch with the hair. Just like when people have locks, I had locks twice, and both times there is a process where the hair has to go through. It doesn't look its best, but upon perspective, it looks beautiful. And that is a training that I taught myself um, when I went through it twice. That was why I started in the first place. My hair was really long, and one day I just felt like I just wanted a big change, and I decided, and I was in a different place spiritually as well, and I decided to lock my hair the first time. And one of the things that I was taught was loving myself from within, loving what I saw, no matter what it presented itself to be. That was the space that I was in, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to build that particular muscle. So when I did it the second time, it was so smooth for me. It was like, was the beginning phase my favorite? I'm not gonna say it was my favorite, but I found beauty in that. I learned that, right? So staying and creating on a higher frequency will allow you to obtain muscles in areas that you didn't know that you could use in your everyday life. You know, we don't have to accept what's being presented to us. You just don't. You don't. You always have the ability, you always have um, the power to change whatever you see not presenting itself in the best um, way for your life. You do. You do. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to go live on here and speak about these things, because I just find that, especially in the world that we live today, there, a lot, it's very easy, I should say, it's very easy to self-loathe. And I just find when you find yourself, put yourself in that frequency, it just goes into everything. It goes into every other thing in your life, and it steals joy from you, which just makes it that much more harder to create anything, you know, because of what you perceive to be true from within. But when you take time away from those thoughts, those responsibilities, by crafting, foraging, going out in nature, looking at different plants, just seeking, seeking, um, seeking different knowledge elsewhere alone will it just feeds you in such a way where your strength level and your ability to transmute things so it can work for your higher purpose, for your higher good, it just makes that muscle so much more stronger. And this is why we have so many distractions. There are distractions everywhere, everywhere. If you're waiting for the most quiet place, I mean, like right now my AC is going, it's hot, okay, it's muggy. So voila, we have to make do, but it's not going to stop me. I'm not going to allow it, right? I'm not going to allow um, something like that to get in my way of what I want to do with my day or how I would like to present my creation. It's not going to do that, because me taking the time to go live on this particular channel, there could be something that just sparks um, something in somebody else that will trigger, who knows, something great, right? All because I chose to create on a higher frequency, allowing myself to be in a mind state of abundance, you know. So practicing and staying in that frequency will definitely allow you to um, create on a high level. I would also suggest being mindful of the people that you surround yourself with, that's definitely up there, because the easiest, quick, fast way to yank you out of your thought process is somebody that is coming with a low vibration, or a place that you find yourself that is in a lower vibration. And a lot of times that place will be our place of work, because you have to be there. If you could choose otherwise, it probably would be different. Right? And I'm speaking from my own experience. Once, listen, I was working at a particular place for over 20 years. And let me tell you, I had to get extremely, extremely creative of keeping my vibration high, because it was very easy to consume what was happening around me. And one of the things that I always suggest, and this should be of no surprise, this should be of no surprise to whomever is watching this live or listening to it on a podcast, because this is definitely going on to the podcast, this episode. So those who are listening to the podcast, be sure to check out the comments. Be sure to check out the links down below, so you can also watch the live if you chose to see the visuals as well. But one of the things that I definitely had to get very creative when I was working a physical job, in terms of keeping the vision. Because, guys, I manifested um, my way of life right now. I did. And I will say this: be very mindful of the things that you manifest, because energetically, if you're not ready for the things that you're manifesting in your life, it can actually send you into a lot of turbulence, right? Because energy is not like, if I say, oh, turn off the lights, turn on the lights. If other areas in your life is not up to par, especially maybe like your how can I say, and your physical energy, your stress levels. Once that shift starts to happen, excuse me, once that shift starts to happen, you're gonna feel it, and it's going to affect a lot of things in your life. It can affect you physically. It can affect you psychologically. It will affect you. So be mindful. Be very mindful. Do not take what I'm saying lightly. So I just want to make sure I said that, because I'm telling you, it's real. So one of the things that I incorporated in my daily my daily practice, to allow me to stay in that particular frequency of creating on a higher level, because what I used to do on the weekends, okay, I've been this channel is not as old as my original channel, which is Elizabeth Magical Garden. The links are down below. Be sure to subscribe to that vlog channel as well. I appreciate that. um I used to record my my videos on the weekends, because that was the only time that I had available at that time. So what I would do is, on the weekends, I would put on my makeup. I would get really into it, get my energies high after working all week and doing all other things. I would push myself and I would sit in front of the camera. Number one, I love what I do. I love this. I love sharing with you guys. At that time I wasn't going live, but just creating. I love to create. And I love to edit as well. Just creating and just bringing forth, that has always been a vibe since I can remember. In saying that, how was I able to achieve that? Well, one of the things I did every single day was write in my journal. Every single day I wrote in my journal. I would have my tea or my coffee. Or finishing up breakfast. I used to get to work earlier. That's a whole nother thing. I was militant, guys. I would wake up at 4:15 in the morning just to do my stretches and my yoga, then go to work, do the judges and all that, get to work. And I would always get to work earlier than was necessary because I wanted that special time. I wanted time to debrief, and I wanted that time just to, before I was clocked in, just to manifest, just to be able to write, just to be able to give back to myself. And let me tell you something. I did that for 3 years straight. And I started this, I believe, 2016. I did it 3 years straight. I kid you not. To the point where it became such a habit where now I just do it. It's part of my life. That practice is part of my life. And I truly believe, because I have I took the time, and I take the time to write down my thoughts, write down um, what I know to be prevalent in my life. I was able to create it. And this is why I'm telling you, life is going to always have its shift. But if you're steady, if you if you are steady, you are able to achieve in ways that will surpass your own understanding. You know, I remember, this is before 2016, but and I believe that that lady, shout out to that lady, shout out to that lady. It was this lady. She had like blonde hair. I believe she was like middle aged. She was cute. She was petite. And at that time, I wasn't really into I wasn't really into like reading anything esoteric, occult, anything. I just manifesting. I never heard those phrases really in that way. And I remember because I was raised like Catholic. I remember, praying and stuff like that. Outside of church, I didn't hear people speak in the manner that she was speaking. So it was new to me. So I remember her saying something about manifesting, and um, I wanted to leave my job so bad. I wanted to. I didn't know how. I should say I didn't see how. It's not that I didn't know. I didn't see how at that time how it would, where what I had. You have your responsibilities, but I just knew that I was coming at the end of my road, in terms of how stressful it was. So this particular lady, she stated that she brought up the terms in terms of manifesting, writing down your dreams and aspirations. But the key here is not focusing on how it was going to happen. That wasn't the that wasn't something that needed to that wasn't something that we needed to do. Let me just pull this over here, guys. Hold on. Oh, okay. Sorry about that, guys. Not having to think, focus too much. Not focusing. See, now I moved it, guys. Why did she do that? Okay, here we go. not having to um, focus on when that thing was going to achieve, was going to be realized, when it was going to happen, how it was going to happen. Just write it down. So when you hear a phrase like that, at least for me, when she said that, it just opened up a slew of probabilities. I just started writing. I just started writing. I just started writing, and a whole new world, a whole new, like what's that song? A whole new world. A whole new world was revealed to me through my imagination, all because I started writing, and I started learning more things about myself internally, how I truly felt about certain things, and my outlook and my perspective of life, the things that I truly loved, and what I found through that practice, not only creating the life that I wanted for myself, but also learning what really, the things that truly mattered to me outside of my family and close friends, right? I don't have too many friends, guys. Me personally, I feel like it's like, I don't know if that's like a Brooklyn thing, but usually if you can call somebody your friend, you could be like, that's my family. Okay, that's fam right there. So that's has always been my thing. But in saying that, um, I spend a lot of time with myself because of the life that I created for myself, right? And the experiences that I have, but I also, the mediums and what I choose to do that feeds me also requires me to be alone a lot of the times. And with that, it has always been the thing for me. This practice, in practicing what I'm suggesting, you realize, like I did, I realized that a lot of the things that I do, I always found joy from, even when I was a little kid. It's not until we get older we start adding other things and things get lost in the sauce. But if you truly spend time with yourself, you realize, like going out in nature and taking a walk outside. That's something that I always love to do. I always loved nature since I was a little girl. So it's no surprise how creative I feel when I'm back in nature. This is something that naturally feeds me. So when you are in that frequency, when you are in that mindset, you will find out and peel back layers of yourself that you didn't even know that you could, right? So I hope um, this segment helped somebody. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe and share this video to anyone that you feel that can benefit from this particular message. I definitely would appreciate that, because I truly believe through the conscious mind and practicing mindfulness and keeping up our own frequencies, and not allowing ourselves to focus so much on what's happening in the exterior, we can live a more magically powerful and energetically life. I just feel like energetically we have so much to offer, and through that we're able to heal one another. Because if somebody see you radiating and you're living your best life, right, others will be attracted to that, and then it just builds another layer of love and excitement in not just yourself but those around you, so everybody is benefiting. So guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell. I definitely will be going live on this channel more often than not. This is something new. This is actually my first of many, I should say. And thank you to all that stayed, to the end of this live, and also those who are watching the replays that came to the end as well. I appreciate you so much. And yeah. Oh, and be sure to check all the links down below so you will be able to see the other things that I create, and also my vlog channel that I am always on. I'm always going live on that channel as well. So yeah, until next time, peace. Stay blessed, stay in peace, and stay empowered. Peace.